you can't cut your way to prosperity. You have to, in order to drive, you have to be optimistic. You have to think things are going to work. Now, if they don't work, you have to change, but you have to try to drive for growth. Being a CFO is not like being a brain surgeon, right? It requires to be moderately intelligent, but it doesn't require some gift from gods, It requires great ability to work with people. If you think about what is the CFO's main responsibility, it's really the allocation of resources. What you need to do is you need to understand where the company allocates its resources. You need to measure it, and then you need to try to work with the teams to adjust those so that if things are going well, you put more resources there. If things are not going well, you need to stop, right? And reallocate those resources. In order to do that, you have to have a significant power of persuasion. You're not ordering people to do it. You need to be able to persuade them with numbers, with some hard facts. So you need to be able to be very analytical to get those facts, to understand those numbers. But you also need to be a person who people will listen to. You need to have a personality that people would respond to, right? You need to have persuasive capabilities. That's what it takes.
And I guess over the years now, you've mentored a number of people who've probably gone on to be finance directors and CFOs. What's the main difference, do you think, between those who aspire to but don't make it and those who have gone on to be CFOs?
Well, it's not the technical ability, that I can tell you, right? As I've said before, it's really the strength of your personality. Do people want to work with you? Do senior managers want to work with you? Do they listen to you? Do your employees, your subordinates want to work with you? Are you a really good leader, right? And then, of course, you need to understand what you're talking about. You need to understand the numbers. You need to understand what do the numbers tell you. And then you have to have the ability, and the best ones always do, to look at what the numbers tell you, but explain it to the populace in a way that they also understand it, right? You want to lead people. You have to bring it down to the level that they understand. And you have to also not talk a lot. People don't listen to long, drawn-out finance mumbo-jumbo, right? You have to be able to understand the message, deliver it cleanly, crisply, let people ask questions, let them be included. That's what it is. So I think it's about leadership much more than it's about being some genius in US GAAP,
Yes. I guess you've had some good mentors yourself over the years and learned from people. What are the best pieces of advice you've ever had?
So I've been lucky. I had two fantastic mentors. Both were the CEOs of the companies I worked for. One is Dr. Abe Peled, who has been a tremendous mentor. He would always say to me things like, you can't cut your way to prosperity. So when you think about a business, CFOs have to also try to think in a bit expansively, right? I mean, CEOs always have to, right? But the CFOs, we have the natural instinct to be super conservative and just sit on this money and let's not spend it. Let's just sit and watch it here, right? And Abe would say to me, listen, you can't cut your way to prosperity. You have to, in order to drive, you have to be optimistic. You have to think things are going to work. Now, if they don't work, you have to change, but you have to try to drive for growth, right? And that is a big part of what I try to do whenever I'm in any business, right? Yes, you have to control, absolutely. Yes, you have to make sure that there's no waste, and yes, you need to go after the waste, but you can't be this person who is stifling the growth of the business. And in order for the business to grow, you have to invest. And the second guy who was a big, tremendous mentor for me was Brian Corcoran, who was the CEO of Betfair and then Paddy Power Betfair. And he hired me. He was before that CEO of Paddy Power. And the most important thing that he taught me is when we were merging Betfair and Paddy Power, the culture, the bringing together of the two cultures is very important. Again, as a CFO, you tend to think about, okay, how much money are you going to save, right? You're going to slam these two businesses together. Boy, oh boy, you're going to save a ton of money, right? And the great CEO that he is, and he's currently the CEO of IG Group, but the great CEO that he is, he was able to show and was able to help me understand that while we certainly should keep our eyes on the savings, the cultural merging of the businesses from different backgrounds, maybe from different levels of development, is something that you have to take into consideration. He also spent a lot of time on the HR function and the importance of the HR function. And again, he taught me that was a real critical function. Sometimes we don't think think of HR as a very, well, certainly I didn't think of HR as a very critical function, and he changed my mind dramatically. Those two guys I credit with some of the best business education I've gotten in my career.